Greetings, adventurers, and welcome to Double Advantage, a D&D show where half of us have no idea what's going on at any given moment. It's complete and utter chaos, but guess what? We love it. I am your Dungeon Master, John, and along with me, like always, are my beautiful, the full group of friends. And let's go ahead and get them introduced, starting with the one and only Mr. Blazing Torchic.
Right then, I don't think the accent's quite necessary there, but here I am, Malon Sakado, level 6 Wood Elf Rogue. We're going with this voice now. You can catch me throw my psychic blades, and with my new helmet right here, I can do a lovely old mind whip. It's really cool, love it. Might kill the person, but it's great.
Yeah, that's the new Sakado accent, everybody. We've been waiting to show it to you. He switched up accents on us once, so why not again?
Oh, please no.
But up next, we got BryceKrispie.
What's up, guys? BryceKrispie94 here. I play Volstagg, the half-orc druid. You can catch me wild shaping into all sorts of critters. I was trying to play the cleric, not very well, so glad that our actual cleric is back.
You did a good job. I mean, it's a little bit hard to heal in wild shape, but you did what you needed to do. And last but certainly not least, finally back, our cleric and yours, Datsunami.
Hey, yo! What's going on, you guys? Yeah, the cleric's back, baby. He's here to keep these guys healthy, but you know me, playing Scald. We're out here better than ever.
Hell yeah, and hopefully we'll see a couple more fireballs in our future, which terrifies me to death. But, you know...
Maybe they forgot about it.
Yeah, shh, nobody needs to know. It's okay.
Drop it on them.
Drop a nice little... eviscerate everybody. But... let's go ahead and get some things out of the way. Shout out to our artists of the show, Renny, Texas, Mitch, Ninja, and Carl Uber. Without them, none of this would be possible. And also go ahead and check out everybody's links down below in the description. We got Torchic, all his links. His Twitter's pretty funny. Go check it out. We got Bryce doing all things D&D, and you got Tsunami over on Twitch, keeping it real with that Pokemon stuff. I mean, look at that shirt. Look at that Squirtle. Look at that Squirtle on the back. Look at Blastoise. If you don't already know...
They're everywhere.
If you couldn't
I'm
tell,
even rocking Squirtle.
yeah, it's a Squirtle day.
That's the
I'm
best
blue.
shirt.
Close enough.
I'm there's some blue on my blanket back there, but you know it's fine.
Dang,
I'm sorry, I'm a fake fan. I know,
big fan.
fake fan. I'm trying to see if there's anything Pokemon. I have a Snom over there. I promise, he's over there. So don't worry. You don't have
I
to.
have anything Pokemon behind me. All my Pokemon stuff is in front of me.
I converted this man from Pokemon to D&D, so you know.
I have one Pokemon thing, but it's covered by the light of God.
As all good Pokemon things should be. But yeah, I think that is it, unless anybody else has anything they would like to say.
I don't think so.
All right, so
I'm good.
let's go ahead and get into episode 38 of Double Advantage. In the last episode, the last string of episodes, our intrepid adventurers known as the Lightbreakers, found themselves in an interesting situation at the behest of some Thorn Guards in a bloody situation that occurred in a church that led to Sakado and Avery being imprisoned while Volstagg was shunted into the break room. When they were interviewed and talked and things went down, and eventually Volstagg made his way to the Arcanist Ossian Willowgin, where he had to convince him to help Sakado out of prison. And with that, a favor was made. They were bailed out by not only the collaborative efforts of Ossian Willowgin, Lord Baron Lotus, or Baron Xavier Lotus, sorry, and their friend Arias Scald, who came to bail them out with a pouch of cash and a few words, hoping and wishing that he could capture this moment for eternity. But with that, they went back to the Arcanists. Sakado was given his new helmet that allows him a little bit more control over his psionic capabilities, and he can do some pretty interesting things now, so we'll see how that ends up. But they went back to the Shadow Star Adventuring Guild, where they quite literally grabbed a drink from behind the counter, sat down, cheersed, had a conversation, and that is now where we sit, the three of you sitting around the table in the Shadow Star Adventuring Guild, finishing up the remnants of your drinks. The day is still the same as it was before, so what would you like to do?
Well,
Did we leave off on the awkward silence after the whole crossbow bolt thing?
No, there was some more to it
Yeah.
after that. There was some more to
Oh.
it.
Yeah. Forgot about that too.
Yeah, so you guys were basically still having a drink. You do remember that at some point, dinner with Lotus was established, and Ossian agreed to join you, accompany you, as to not make it so awkward. So that is in the back of the mind.
Okay. So it's
do
morning
we
now, right?
know? Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
Well, I mean, what time is it like right now?
Okay, let me. This is the question I didn't want you guys to ask because I don't know.
Aha.
Let's see.
Got
Logistically speaking, Ossian, Lotus, and Scald would have all been at the jail, or at least you, because you went to Ossian first, found out they were in prison, then that you guys all went together.
Mhm.
Then you guys showed up. That was probably in the morning. Then you guys went to the Arcanist Tower, had a conversation there. Then Avery took off, and then you came back here. I would say it's like early afternoon at this point.
Okay.
Maybe
Okay.
around 1 to 2.
And we're doing dinner, correct?
Dinner.
Okay.
Dinner was established, I want to say, for 7 or 8, but I don't know if that was ever actually said. We'll say it was.
Right, so we have a few hours. Okay.
Well, I think I didn't really travel with too much, so I might have to at least pick up some dinner attire. Don't want to go in. Don't want to go in all my armors. You know, that's a little excessive.
I don't exactly need to go shopping anymore for clothes and just disguise self with
Hey,
boots and just looking sharp.
there you go. All right, all right. How about you? How about you,
Uh,
Volstagg? Do you want to come with?
Sure. I don't know that I'll buy any clothing, but
Hey, you know, we
look
gotta look
around.
sharp. We gotta look nice. Gotta, you know, first impressions are the most important ones.
Well, I mean, his first impression of us was
Oh, that's right. You guys have already met this person.
prison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
But, I
second
mean-
impressions were the prison.
that's true. We met
Actually,
him
we did meet
once
him
before.
in tower.
Yeah.
This is a first real sit down, like, you know, this
Maybe I
is
could
our time to
buy
really
this
turn
shirt.
it. Give people a better perception then. How about that?
Yeah.
Well, hopefully he doesn't hate us.
A nice shirt might be helpful.
It's the first step. All right.
So,
So,
to buy a shirt, to buy some clothes.
yeah.
Okay, so unless roleplay you would like to ensue, I would say for the sake of it all, for you, Scald, for a full, nice, fancy, expensive for the sake of normal people, right? Because money is a bit unique when you're an adventurer. Because
Yeah.
I think a loaf of bread is like a gold or a silver, which is kind of hard for some people to make. But for a nice set of fancy clothes, that would be about 15 gold marked off.
Okay.
For a full set. Volstagg, are you buying a full set or just a nice shirt, something?
Just a shirt.
Just a shirt? And not even a
Just
nice
a shirt.
shirt or a nice shirt?
A nice shirt.
Okay.
I would help
But
him
I'm
pick
gonna
it
wear
out.
my cape and everything over it still.
Okay. So Scald's gonna help you pick it. That's funny. Okay. We'll say that a nice fancy shirt, maybe a couple buttons.
I want one with like the frilly
Okay.
sleeves.
The frilly sleeves. We'll say that'll run
Yeah.
you, since you're just buying the shirt. We'll say about 5 gold. Should suffice there for that. You guys go out shopping. You spend a little time out. Sakura, what do you do with your time? They're probably gone for like an hour.
I'd probably just go hang out with Quallen over at Thybrix.
Okay. Yeah, you just sit outside. It's a nice day. Like I said, it's breaking into the fall months. The trees around are starting to turn a little orange. The grass in people's lawns is starting to turn yellow as well. And so he's got a bench out there. You're just sitting there with Quellen. He's just hammering away.
Oh, I would also thank him for the help on the helmet.
All right, he goes ahead. He's pounding away. He turns around, kind of lifts up his visor that
Giggity.
was blocking. God damn it! I don't know if I missed it or not. But it's good to have the giggities back. But he turns around, he lifts up his visor. You can see that there's some sweat on his brow. He says, there's no worries about it. It was actually a lot of fun. I don't typically make like helmets. It's usually just breastplates, shields, swords, weaponry, the like. But I'm glad you like it. It looks good.
I imagine this is kind of what the helmet looks like minus the top part.
This
But
motherfucker.
well, yeah, it's pretty nice, sturdy. I seem to be able to do some cool things with it.
I mean, I didn't know what he was gonna do with it because, just a helmet with no other actual armor pieces seems a little bit unconventional, especially considering it doesn't have a top on it. Someone could just stab you right in it. It's. Well, he paid me, so I'm not gonna complain.
True, well, I get to do some very cool things with it, although I did nearly stab him in the process.
Yeah, well, the price you pay, I suppose.
True, true.
Well, hopefully it does you well. I mean, you already like it. You say you can do some cool things. I mean, hell, as long as it works, that's my job done, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's no problem. It was fun. No problem taking care of your wolf, by the way, either. I know. You already thanked me, but he eats a lot. So,
I mean, we did find him a little bit starved, but yeah, he eats a fair bit.
he's a good boy. It's no worries.
He is.
He goes ahead and he puts the visor back, keeps hammering away. And after some time, you see Volstagg and Scald with their shopping bags. Oh, no. They just, walking in from their day on the town. And you guys see that Sakato's currently sitting on a bench, petting Quellen, just relaxing.
Oh, well, successful day out there. What have you just been hanging out here, huh?
Yeah, just been hanging out here with Quellen. We kind of didn't get to see him for a little bit, so yeah.
All right, well, I'm probably going to head inside and just kind of hang around for a little bit. Try to, don't really got too much planned until dinner, so might as well just get some more food and, take it easy.
Food and
Yeah.
dress sounds nice.
Thybrick turns around. Y'all are going to dinner. Do you need me to take care of your pets again?
Would I be able to bring Quellen?
What is Colin?
A wolf.
Probably not.
I'm going to try to.
People
Alright.
tend to get a little nervous around wolves. Dogs, they're alright. Wolves, a little bigger, sharper teeth.
You want me to take care of the turtle, or are you good too?
He'll be fine.
Alright.
He stays in my pouch.
Yeah, I mean, you have a little, actual home for him, so, and it's easier to hide them. I mean, you're not gonna hide a wolf, so, it's kind of, the level there is, it's fine. Anywho, if you need anything, give me a shout. I'll be around. Alright, so, back to the tavern for a few, just to relax. Alright, you guys probably, so what did I say? So, 2, it's probably 3, so you got 4 hours. So, what do each of you do with your little bit of time before dinner's about to be ready?
I'll probably still be reading Mother Vile's book.
Okay, go ahead, make an investigation check for me.
I gotta remember what that is. Okay. 13.
13? Okay. You begin to look through, and whilst you pretty much have gathered all the information about what her plans were, about what her deal was, about where they came from and how they left the asylum seeking new asylum from somewhere else that wasn't going to torture them constantly. But you can't help but think back on the little experiment she was trying to do with the spores. And you start thinking back on it, you pull out one of the loom shrooms that was in the bag of holding. Make an Arcana check for me.
Nat 20.
Okay. You begin to hold the loom shroom in your hand, and at this point, right, especially now, it's very clear to you that Caecilius had magical properties, or at least the mushrooms of Caecilius had magical properties, and these loom shrooms are no different. And you could tell that she was trying to take the spores and utilize them in a way that could harm. And that intrigues you very much. As a person who tries to avoid harm, you see this as a defensive boon, as a way to protect yourselves, to protect your friends. And with that, you kind of, following the instructions, the very minimalistic instructions that she had written down in her book, you begin to weave her magic that she was designing, which was druidic in nature. And as you kind of begin to like move your fingers and curl them up, you can see that from the loom shroom, some spores are pulled out. And they kind of float and kind of are just staying there and shoot out a gentle little burst of energy outward. And you think that in a time of need, you could use this to do some damage to somebody. So you now have access to the Virulent Spores spell, which has been written down.
It has been.
And you should be able to select it now in your spell list.
I believe so.
So you now have access to that.
There.
Sakura, what do you do for your 4 hours?
Because I have this new helmet that's helping enhance my psionics, I am going to see if I can yet again form a short sword out of my psychic energy.
Go ahead and make an intelligence check.
Oh boy. Straight intelligence. 16?
Okay. You go ahead and you begin to form a blade. You go ahead, you apparate your knife, and you try to like focus on it, and you watch as the blade begins to extend. And it does end up forming a much longer blade. But it almost, there's resistance. It lets you do it. You have a blade, you swing it around, and it stays in the shape. But something about the energy is resisting. Like it's struggling to stay in that form.
I'll just drop it.
Make another intelligence check.
16 again. Wow.
From what has been told to you via Willowgin, via Avery, and your own intuition in this moment, you have a feeling that these daggers took the shape as daggers originally, as a parallel to your bloody daggers that you used to kill the council. It latched onto a memory. The powers latched onto a memory and took the form of the first thing that was on your mind at the time. So while yes, you can form a different shape for the blade, it wants and wills to be what it knows.
Okay.
So, it is possible to change the shape of them, but you do feel something doesn't feel right when you do.
They just want to stay daggers.
They latched onto something and prefer to keep it that way. So.
Well, I mean, not much I can do about that, I guess. I'll just drop it completely and give up on it.
Okay. Scald, what do you do for the 4 hours whilst you wait for dinner?
I mean, not too much. Probably cast like 1 or 2 sendings if needed to check in with Lady Mistralith.
Okay.
Shine any of the armor pieces I might think about at it, because like what I bought probably was this like white robe with like, you know, white pants underneath and then a gold shirt under, and you know, gold trim all over the robe.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe, you know, some just keeping my weapon on me, obviously, just in case.
Mm-hmm.
My holy symbol, just kind of shining those up, making those as light as possible.
Okay. And for simplicity's sake, that way we don't have to do words, you go ahead and you check in with the Sun Warden, Lady Mistralith. The gist is things are on the come up. Everything is going in place. Everything seems to be heading in the right direction. So
As long as there was no trouble. Yep.
Yep, it seems, and it's been a little bit since you've been there. So on your journeys as well too, she was keeping you updated. So
Right.
everything seems to be on the up and up, or at least beginning to look up. So there's no worries there. But eventually, you do all, reconvene after doing your individual tasks, and you prepare to head to the the Lotus Estate, which is directions were given, so we don't really have to figure that all out. It is on I think it's the highest district, which I think is because you're on the Illurium, I believe.
The Cynthian.
Cynthium. Is it the Cynthium? I want to make sure.
I think so. Illurium, Thorium, then Cynthium.
Let me... Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, it's in the Cynthium district. And so you go ahead, you pass the Arcanist Tower. If you wish to notify him or if you wish to just continue forward, that's up to you.
Continue forward, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, walk past. A little bit, travel more. It's weird. You haven't actually gone this far up in the districts yet. You've spent a bit of time in the Thorium district, as that's where Austin's Tower is, and it's moderately more fancy. Even the bottom district is still a little bit fancier, but as you begin to go up, it becomes like it is like Beverly Hills. It's like gated off. You actually walk up, and as you get closer, you can actually see Thornwater Keep, which is where the king resides. And there's actually a gated off, tall golden gates with these points at the tips. And you can see that there is currently a Thorn Guard in his green and gray armor with the rose on the chest. No helmet on, but currently holding this large halberd kind of across the chest, and is standing there as you guys approach. And he's just keeping guard of the entryway.
Hello there, my Thorngard friend.
Hello, how are you?
I am good. I believe, if you have been notified, we are to have dinner with the Baron.
Which one?
Xavier Lotus. Let me just double check. Yep, Xavier Lotus.
Baron Lotus, yes. I was made aware there were supposed to be 4 of you. There are only 3 of you. Did one not come?
Oh, the Arcanist. I believe he is making his own way here.
Alright, very good. Well, I will let him in when he arrives, but for now you may enter. And he goes ahead and he takes a key from his belt, opens up the gate, just opens it up, and you guys are now let in.
Oh shit, were we supposed to pick somebody up? Shit.
Don't know, I thought he would be making his own way.
He'll be fine.
Don't say that, because now he's going to be dead.
Now he's gone.
You hear a
Great,
gunshot in
almost.
the distance. No, I'm just kidding. All right, you go ahead. The guard points over to this. You can see that there are a lot of lavish estates here. Like I said, this is where the people who work either directly under the king, work for the king, or are just extremely wealthy reside in this district. And he goes ahead and he points out a house kind of over in the separate, kind of on the edge of the tiered platforms. This very lavish, very large estate with a humongous front lawn. You can see that there's this long rectangular fountain in the center of it all, and at the front of it there is a banner that has a lotus flower on the front of it. And he says, "That will be the Lotus Estate. Just let yourselves in."
Thank you.
Of course. Goes ahead, closes the door, locks it up, and continues his post there.
Well, shall we head in?
Walking on in.
Alrighty.
I would also like to point out I am not in the smart dress yet. I have not disguised self.
Okay, are you going to... Let's get this out of the way. Are you going to disguise yourself in fancy clothes as Seinko or fancy clothes as Sakura?
Is Sakura.
Sakura. Okay. For the sake of it all, you were keeping your disguise up while in prison, just for the sake of all sakes.
Yeah.
Because it's just easier. But so you go ahead, you walk up to the door, and on the door, it's a relatively large door, kind of carved in the wood and then inlaid with gold metal, is this beautiful detailed description of the similar lotus flower that was on the banner. And it has 2 ring knockers on it.
Bang, bang.
Okay. You go ahead. Oh, sorry. You go ahead, you open it up, or you knock on it, and it opens up, and you can see that there is this halfling woman, kind of short brown hair that kind of is tucked behind her slightly pointed ears. Relatively tall for a halfling, but kind of sitting there, a nice attire. She opens up and she says, "Hello, how may I help you?"
Well, we are here to have dinner with the Baron.
Oh, yes, of course, he was telling me. Yes, please, do come in. She goes ahead and she kind of sidesteps for you to come in, closes the door behind you. My name is Genra. It's a pleasure to meet you. I handle all of the Baron's finances and other business inquiries. He did let me know about this, but he didn't describe you to me, so I'm terribly sorry for not immediately knowing. Please, right this way. She goes ahead and she walks you through this beautifully detailed interior front room. You can see that there are plenty of fine art pieces, paintings, pottery. There's even some very detailed busts of people that you don't recognize. And you're walking through, and eventually leads you up to this kind of this split way where there's 2 hallways that go, and then right in the center is this very tall staircase. And she says, "Up the stairs, through the main doors, is the dining room. Just feel free to let yourself in. I believe he's already in there. If he's not, he'll be in there shortly."
Yeah, thank you.
Of course.
For your
Thank you.
guidance.
Goes ahead and she goes off onto the left chamber, opens the door, closes it. And you walk up, and the stairs, they're velvet stairs, this kind of very nice dark gray velvet, with the hand railings that are made of, almost look like either, not laced, that's not the word I'm thinking of, coated, just the outside, plated with gold or made of solid gold. And as you walk through, you push the doors open, and you can see this beautifully large dining room. A table far longer than you would ever think. Probably looks like it seats maybe 30 people. This looks like a banquet hall. There's a beautiful glass chandelier. I'm so used to Pokemon.
Pokemon?
Yeah, I'm so used to Pokemon.
You prepping?
Yeah. A beautiful chandelier at the top, with the candles lit as well. A fireplace currently roaring. It's beautiful in here. There's artwork that looks more expensive than anything you could even look at on your person. It is obscene how fancy it is in here. And you can see Baron Xavier Lotus currently standing behind what would be akin to a home bar. Shelves and shelves of liquor. You can see that he's currently uncorking. Looks to be a dark brown glassed bottle with a very brown liquor in it. Currently pouring himself a drink. He looks up and he corks it. My, welcome. It's a pleasure to see you. Thank you for letting yourselves in. I didn't quite know when you'd be here, but it's a pleasure to have you.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, we appreciate the offer for dinner.
Well, of course. Well,
Volstag's gonna bow because he's not really sure what to do.
I was like,
so he's just
it's
okay.
fine. You don't.
There's no. He's got the glass in his. There's no need to bow to me. It's all right. I'm not royalty. I'm merely just a humble servant to my king. And he bows down to you in response. No, it's quite all right. I respect the gesture. I do. Now, what may I get you to drink, please? Come on. And he's currently standing behind the bar. I have anything and everything you can think of from all across Eros. You merely name it and you can have it.
Do you have mead?
Do I have mead? I have some of the finest mead in all the world, my friend. What would you like? Something more sweet? Something a little bit harder on the exterior? What are you looking for?
Alcohol.
My friend, you were in the right place. All right. He goes ahead and he grabs a bottle from up. He kind of has to tippy-toe a little bit. Once again, human male. Looks to be in his, probably his 50s at this point, I would say. You can see the gray spotting through his hair. It's slicked back. Currently has, not like a pointed goatee, but it's just kind of like around like that and a little bit of stubble going upwards. As he turns around, you didn't actually get to see it the first time. As he turns around, there's actually a ponytail. Like, his hair is a lot longer than you think. It looks like it's just slicked back and short, but there's actually a ponytail when he turns around. It's very well kept, very elegant. You can see that it's tied up with, actually, it looks like velvet. And he's wearing a very fancy dinner attire. It makes Scalds look mundane, but it still looks fancy enough. He goes ahead and he pops off the bottle. This has been aging for about 35 years, so it's the first time I'm opening this. It's probably older than all of you. Maybe not you, and looks at you, Sakado.
Yes, I don't think it's quite older than me. You'd have to be nearing a century.
Oh. Elves, my good elven friends. They will long outlive me, and there's nothing I can do about it. Anywho. Right. A small glass or a big glass, Volstagg?
Big glass.
You've got it. Goes ahead and starts pouring you this big, tall, like probably a pint's worth of mead. Hands it over to you. I hope you enjoy. I don't know what it tastes like because I haven't opened it before. So, anyway. You, Sakado.
Grab it and slam it.
Okay. It's heavy. It's some heavy shit.
I was gonna say, you don't slam mead, but
Volstagg does.
Volstagg does.
Go ahead, slam it. What may I get for you, my elven friend?
Oh, well, if you're giving the offer of anything, then, how about your most expensive?
I like your style. Goes ahead and he picks up the bottle that he just poured himself a glass of. I only drink the finest of fineries, my friend. So, you're in good company. Goes ahead and pours you a glass. Be careful. This is not one that you down like your friend over there. This is a gentle sipper. Be careful.
Well, a fine drink requires a fine outfit, and I shall disguise self an outfit that is more extravagant than his.
Okay. Kind of, he slides you your drink, he looks at you. You see, Ossian has spoken quite a bit about you, and he wanted me to do this favor for you, and I didn't quite understand why. Truly, I didn't. Then I did my research, and now I'm looking you in the face, and I understand greatly. You have a good sense of humor. Something that Ossian does not have. So.
Research?
Well,
what is there to know about me?
Well, I've done my fair bit of research, as you all as a whole, not necessarily you individually. You were definitely hard to find information on. But the rest of you,
Good.
when were you going to detail that you're the saviors of Ataro? I mean, it's just casual drop that never got mentioned.
We did say we were the Lightbreakers, didn't we?
Maybe. I don't quite remember. But that's also useful information. Yes, I mean...
Well, Ataro is my home, and we were just doing what was necessary in the moment. So I wouldn't really consider us heroes, but...
Well...
I mean, if you say it, then...
Saviors nonetheless, heroes of the city of Ataro. I mean, news spread pretty quickly. You know, I'm sure. I didn't find out about it till much later, as Ataro is known to keep itself quite sheltered from the rest of the world. But I'm glad to hear that they're on the come up. I heard there was some shifty situations with the leadership. So
It's in good hands now.
I'm glad that got resolved. And he bows to you. I'm sorry, Bishop. Let me address you as such. Would you like a drink?
Oh, there was no need for that.
Well, titles are important, right?
Titles are, and I bow back. It's just a fine wine.
Of course.
Be good for me.
Red or white?
Right.
Red, right. Goes ahead and he takes one off the shelf, uncorks it. You can see that there is, it has been drinking out of, unlike the ale that has just been previously opened. Or the mead. I'm sorry, not the ale. The mead. He goes ahead. This is some of the finest wine in all of Eros. It was made in Debur. And this has been aging for... He goes ahead and turns the bottle. 125 years. So,
well,
I do hope you enjoy.
I appreciate that. I just wanted a nice taste, but you're too kind. You're too kind.
Well, when you're meeting someone or meeting a group for the official first time, you have to have a good show of face. So, well, let's go ahead. Let's sit.
Ooh, that is
Do you like it?
unbelievable. I won't down it. Okay. Don't worry.
No. It's quite all right. Come, sit. And across from the bar is a kind of a lounging area. These nice couches, also appearing to look like they're made of a nice red velvet, and a table right next to the fireplace. He sits down. So, I know a little bit about you, but tell me your story. What are we dealing with here? The Lightbreakers, the Saviors of Ataro. What is your deal? Alcian seems to like you quite a bit, and I want to understand a little bit more as to why.
Well, we have interesting stories. We have came into possession of items that has captured religion's interest, although mainly I would say the interest has been focused on my abilities of sorts.
Yes. He was telling me you were allowing him to do some research. Don't know the severity of which. I don't like to pry into my friend's work. But he did make me aware that there is something special about each of you. Well, not you, unfortunately, Bishop. Much experience with you is apparently limited.
Oh, but yes, I've been a little sidetracked getting Ataro figured out.
No, of course, I completely understand. Noble of you.
Well, it's my home.
We take care of our homes. That's what we do best. Anywho.
Exactly.
Well, I was made aware last minute that he would be joining us, Mr. Willowgen, so whenever he arrives, that should be good. But what do you want for dinner? I wanted to wait to ask you before I had my chefs fire up anything, so if you would like to request something in particular, now is your time.
As long as it isn't rations, I'll be okay.
Same here.
Trust me, it will be much better than rations. How do a couple of meat pies sound? Yes?
I enjoy a nice meat pie.
Any vegetarians?
Splendid.
No.
All right. He goes ahead and you watch as...
We all enjoy meat, giggity.
God damn it. You watch as he steps up and knocks on... There's another door on the opposite side of where you entered. And you watch as it opens directly into this bustling kitchen. You can see just at a glance there's about 10 people in there, all just doing 1,000 different things, and you watch as a big dragonborn gentleman with a currently a nice like chef's hat on, not like the puffy one, but just like a one to keep all the stuff out of his way. And you could say you see him. Yes, a couple of meat pies, maybe some. Looks over, some potatoes, maybe, gentlemen. Assortment of vegetables, and for dessert, let's see. Well, let's stick with pie. Let's try key lime pie for dessert, and that should be fine. Yes. He goes ahead, and you see the Dragonborn nod. He says, "Thank you very much," and he walks back as the door closes. Right. Food will be situated hopefully soon. Doesn't take that long. They've worked pretty efficiently and effectively, which gives us a few moments to talk. So, let me go ahead and be cordial and tell you about myself. I feel like I've been asking a lot of questions, and I feel like maybe not a lot is being given in return. My name is Lord Xavier, or Baron, sorry, not Lord. Baron Xavier Everett Lotus. It is a pleasure to meet you all for the first time officially. I know I've come across you and dusted paths with you quite a bit, once in Ossian's Tower and a second time in a prison, which we will get to at some point. I took over the estate from my parents somewhat 25 years ago, and have been running it ever since in their stead. They are still alive, but they're doing their own thing, which leaves me to do all the dealings. My job, when working with the king, is to officiate new contracts with surrounding villages that are not currently already a part of the Empire. As you know, some do reside outside of our bounds, and it is my job directly under the king to be the liaison for those people, to try and convince them that joining the Empire's graces is a good thing, and that we can protect them in a more effective and efficient manner as long as they join our arms. Some of them are persistent, some of them are stuck in their hard old ways, and some of them are just pains in my ass, but it's part of the job. So you could call me a diplomat of sorts, if that's what you wish. You watch as he takes a swig. All you look around. He goes ahead and he stands up. He's currently standing by the fireplace. But yeah, the Lotus family has been doing this job for quite some time. Originally started with my great-great-grandfather. He originally was taken up by the original king, and, well, he was given this job. He served in the military for quite some time, as did I. It's kind of a family tradition to serve in the military and then become part of the business. What else may I say? Only child, so it was always my destiny to take up this mantle. And, well, I'm an enjoyer of fine wines, fine arts, and fine company. Any questions?
So, you, say you do contracts with villagers, right?
As I do, yes.
Any in particular in the near area that have been a bit of trouble or anything?
Well, most of them are quite a bit of trouble. Some of them not so much trouble as you would think. I say trouble very loosely in the term as which they're just afraid. You see, not a lot of people are keen to the idea of being brought into something as fear that it might change their currently established dynamics, it might change their beliefs. Some of their people are scared to join the graces of the army, for the Empire, for the sake of just... It ruins things for people. Traditions go out the window when... It's almost like invading or conquering. But that's not the king's agenda. A couple, there's one near Tarago, it's called Losai, that I've been working on for quite some time. They're very hard stuck in their ways. There's a couple other ones that just have downright been disrespectful and have not agreed to any of what we offer. It's... Man, why do you ask?
I'm just curious, I've heard this name in passing. What about the town of Kalsang?
Kalsang's one of them, yes, they're persistent as anything I've ever seen. They've got a few people in charge that are just... They continuously refuse our offers. They're drastically hard stuck in their traditions, and they want no part of it. And the king has persisted to try and get me to get one of these areas in, and I stopped trying to handle Kalsang about 5 years ago. It's just pointless at this point to try with them. Losai has been a little bit more forthcoming with their demands and desires, and we've been trying to fulfill them, but they're still not 100% set on joining the Empire yet.
Say if someone you knew were to reside from Kalsang, someone with significance in, well, the history of Kalsang.
That would be a fantastic boon. I mean, it's going to be difficult, but if this person you speak of has such an elaborate connection, it would help greatly. Do you know of such a person?
Well, yes, you're speaking to him.
Oh, you reside from
Yes.
Kalsang.
Yes, sorry for the little bit of... My past with Kalsang is... dicey.
See, dicey's not necessarily useful. If it was a beneficial relationship, then that would be very good. And honestly, that would get you in very good graces with the king, if you could do such a thing like that. But if you say your relationship is dicey at best, I maybe wouldn't recommend getting yourself involved, as that would bring tensions further, and we don't want that.
Well, they're very eager to see me at Kalsang.
Well,
So, perhaps if you were to present some person of interest,
bring you to them.
I was planning on visiting at some point.
That's an interesting idea. Maybe we table that for now.
Yes.
A dicey situation is one thing, but I'll also have to make direct contact with the king, as you would be a liaison for a liaison, and I don't know how keen he is on that situation. We'll see. I'm getting ahead of myself. I would like to focus on Losai for the time being, as they're the ones that are so close to the Graces. Once that's done, we can further discuss how might you be able to benefit us in the situation in Kalsang. But for now, I thank you for the offer. Thank you for being upfront about the situation. But what about the two of you? Well, maybe not even the two of you. I know you're from Ataro. What about you, Volstagg? Where do you reside?
I grew up in the mountains, the Kilmark Heights.
In the mountains, like in a cave. I'm not trying to be presumptuous.
No, my adoptive father, Hogan, he had a small cabin in the woods where he raised me.
Understandable. I'm sorry. I don't know what it's like to live in a situation like that. I've been graced with many lavish things in my life, as you can possibly tell. But I'm looking at you. I think you turned out to be a fine gentleman.
I think I'm better for how I grew up.
I think that is a good way to see yourself. You seem like a man of pure heart. I like that. All of you do. From what I've read, from what I know, from what I've just listened to, you all have noble hearts, and you're looking at a noble man. And maybe a relationship like this could benefit all of us. Now, I did a favor for my friend, because I care about him deeply, but I did not necessarily owe you all a favor. Now, I know that sounds a bit dicey and more of like a picking and choosing type of battle, but I still need time and proof to understand that what I did was a good choice. As you know, something like this puts my name on the line, and by pulling the strings that I pulled, if you were to, let's say, go ahead and, I don't know, murder someone again, whether in self-defense or not, that is my name on the line, that's my job on the line, and I definitely don't need the king finding out about that. So, I hope that we can all understand that if this were to happen again, not only do all of you no longer have a backup plan, looks like I may be out of mine as well. So, I think this is an opportunity for us to start off fresh, on the right foot, and hopefully this is the start of a relationship of sorts. What do you say? Kind of holds his glass up to you all.
I'm gonna raise my glass.
Well, I think that this is going to be excellent. I mean, I haven't had a dinner with people in quite some time, as working this job is quite lonely at times. Goes ahead and he sits back down. Well, while we wait for my good friend Ossian, is there anything that you wish to ask in return? I want to have an open relationship when it comes to communication with you. I don't want any of us to feel as if there's a gap between us.
What?
I'm good.
My only question is, what are you looking for with a relationship between our group, other than we're heroes, according to you?
Well, it's an excellent question, actually. You see, well, one, I now have something that could help us get Kalsang into the Empire, which is useful. I did not know that prior to this moment, but it's useful to have people with good intentions on your side. And what I mean by that is, I don't wish, let me quell your thoughts now, I don't wish for you to be my henchmen or my lapdogs or my go-getters. I don't wish to employ you under a contract or keep you as my own personal, what may you have it. I think that people who intend to do good work well with people who also intend to do good. And I may be able to fund that. I get a lot more information than many other people in the city. And while simple sellswords that go to adventuring guilds get small, minute quests that get them money, I get pieces of information that could be utilized to help people. I see you all as people that wish to do good in this world. You've done it before, and you'll do it again. And I may be able to expedite and expedite that for you, if you're so interested.
That's agreeable. I understand that.
While I will admit, I want to be open with you, I've done a fair bit of things in my life that I don't agree with. Sometimes it is necessary. And I don't wish to give any of you something that you don't agree with. I may get pieces of information, I present them to you. If you don't agree with what the cause is, then I pass it along to somebody else to handle. Think of it as like a more direct route than an adventuring guild could ever provide. Some people in adventuring guilds do it for the money, some do it for the fame, some do it for the passion of just protecting the world. Not a lot of people make it that far with that. While it's a good boon, it's not necessarily effective. This, a relationship like this, could get you into the good graces with the king, and that would provide a lot more of a grand option in the long term. I merely want to be an avenue for you.
What's the general vibe I'm getting from? Is he like just using us? Do we think, or
go ahead and make an insight check. Anybody who
Alright.
wants
Yeah,
to.
I'm gonna do that as
You
well.
all may. You all may.
Yeah.
didn't roll well?
Ooh, that's an 11. Oh, same with Skull.
Same.
2 11s, okay. Okay. So, Scald and, well, what's everybody's passive perceptions?
16.
Passive perception is 14.
14, 19, and 16? I'm sorry, I meant
There was
passive
passive
insight.
insight.
I'm sorry. Yes.
Oh, okay, that's what. Yeah. 17.
Okay. With passive insights, just at a first glance, I'd say this happened before you actually dealt. This is just like what you're seeing. Sakado seems normal. Seems like a genuine proposition, a very well thought out one as well. Volstagg, it seems odd to you, just in the sense of like a weird position, considering he just bailed you out of prison, or at least bailed Sakura out of prison. It's a weird proposal, but it doesn't seem... what's the word I'm trying to find? It doesn't seem like there's zero weight behind it. It seems like there is a sense of genuine conversation happening here. Just seems odd considering he's saying like, you guys seem like good people, but you're like, we just kind of killed the guy. Like, you know what I mean? That's with the passive. Just at a first glance, you're like, okay, he seems genuine, but why is he offering this when we're kind of not great people in the terms of we killed somebody? Then Scald with your passive, considering you haven't done anything wrong. This seems like a genuine proposal. It seems like there's genuinely a want to work together here. Looking into it a little bit deeper, that's kind of all that's the collective thing, is like, okay, I understand what he's saying. He seems genuine. Same thing for you, Sakura. Just like seems genuine. With your straight up insight check, Volstagg, some of your fears are quelled a little bit as you kind of try to look deeper behind the veil, and kind of are looking at the way his eyes are moving. They're not twitching in a weird fashion. They're not looking in opposite directions when he's saying certain things. It's a direct, like, universal eye contact, kind of looking at each one of you. It seems genuine. It does not, in any way, none of you get the thought that he could be using you. This seems like there is a mutual benefit here that he is genuinely trying to entertain.
Okay. Cool.
Well, it's all well and good if you say you received the information. I'd like to ask a little question just to test how much information you have.
By all means.
Again, moving back to Kalsang, because I do have quite the interest in it. What do you know of the situation in Kalsang?
They don't disclose much. They're relatively well sheltered. It's hard to actually get into the village itself. The only contact I've ever made was on the outskirts. They like to keep to their traditions. They like to keep to their ways. They like to govern the way that they like to govern, and they know that if they join the Empire, they have to govern on our accord, not on theirs. I think that's the main reason why they don't want to join. About a couple of years back, they had a really big incident where a lot of people succumbed to a great many injuries. I don't know what the deal is with that. They didn't delve a lot of information. Seemed to be some freak accident. Maybe a building collapse? I don't know.
Sakura is clenching his fist very hard at this.
They reported a couple of casualties and a couple injured, but they said they were fine. They didn't need anything. We offered to help. 99 or so years ago, we tried to help them, and they denied every request. They just don't want us being involved. It's quite a weird situation, but yeah, they're persistent. I'll give them that.
What do you know of the bounty hunters they placed in cities surrounding this area?
That I don't know about. Why would they be placing bounty hunters?
They are looking for some.
Okay.
That's someone being me.
You see, when you say you have when you said hypothetically someone who has a good relationship with the council and all of them, I was thinking, somebody who had a good reputation. And then you said you, and I was excited, and now you have bounty hunters on you. I guess that explains most of the situation of why you were in prison then.
Yes, we had a slight run-in with some bounty hunters. However, we have gained a little bit more insight as to what is going on behind the closed doors of Kalsang. It appears that they are adamant that they want me because I know something.
What do you know?
The unjust killing of my father.
let me just ask a simple question. Do you have anything to do with that accident that they reported 9 years ago?
If I said no, would you believe me?
Not quite, no.
I want to get off on the right foot with you.
As do I.
Because you do seem genuine. You do seem like you would be helpful. Especially with your connection to Kalsang. Yes, I do know what happened that night 9 years ago. I don't believe it is something that should be discussed over dinner.
Seems fair. Well,
It might be a bit gruesome.
let's table it then.
Yes.
After dinner, then we may discuss. How does that sound?
That sounds like a good idea.
Good. And
I'll
as
just
you...
turn to Volstagg and just go, no more hiding.
No more hiding.
No more hiding.
Right. Well, like I said, I'm an open book as well. If there's anything you wish to ask, just be it. And you hear a voice as a door opens. How about you ask him where he got the fancy clothes? 'Cause Daddy paid for it all. And you see Ossian walk in, and he starts laughing. I'm just messing with you. No, but seriously though, Daddy did pay for all the clothes. It's good to see you guys. How you guys doing?
I'm just gonna raise my glass to Willowgin and smile on my face because mead's probably hitting me pretty good
Yeah,
by this
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Of course, you started him off strong and then decided to talk to him. You cheeky genius. Right. Give me my usual, please. And he walks in and he goes and he sits at the bar. You can see Lotus kind of walks over. He says, "Of course, my good friend, whatever you say." Uncorks a bottle of this nice white wine, pours him a glass, and he comes and he sits down next to you, Volstagg. So, what are we talking about?
Kalsang.
Ooh, hoo. Broke that one pretty quick, didn't you?
I think the drink might be getting to me a little bit.
Well,
Why you just sip wine?
fair point indeed. Well. And he goes ahead and he starts taking a drink. And, you know, for the next couple of minutes, you guys just are conversing in a general sense of just random stuff. All of you just make a quick perception check.
Ooh, advantage.
Interesting. Ooh!
Okay.
Right choice to go with the
10.
tiny one.
Okay. So,
25.
25, Volstagg?
10.
10, Scald.
Mead's really hitting me.
23.
23. Yeah, so the mead's hitting you. Just a little too hard. But you're not, like, drunk or anything. You're just, like, a little tipsy. And you're looking around. There's a bunch of fancy things in here. There's fancy paintings of different scenic events in Erosian history. Different pieces of artwork. Different pieces of weaponry. You can see that over on the fireplace is two swords crossed. You can see that there is a couple of like halberds, and there's like statues like that are holding big weaponries. You can see over by the dining room table, behind one of the big chairs, is this gigantic wall of different weapons. All of you see this. Volstagg, you kind of stopped at like the statues. You're like, oh, statues. That's cool. And you two turn around, you see this gigantic wall of weapons right behind the dining room set. You can see daggers, swords, halberds, like smaller hand crossbows, all types of weaponry. And you can see in the center there is it's a plaque. You know how like when people hunt and they mount a head of an animal to like a plaque? There is a plaque there and a crossbow that is inscripted that says, if you go up to it, it says, it has like a date on it. Whatever. I don't want to actually come up with the date in my head, but it has a date. And it says...
No, come on, John.
Okay, fine.
DM
let's
date.
see. This would have been... It's
I'm totally fucking with you.
1782. Oh, I'm going to do it now. Fuck you. 1782.
God damn.
I'm just kidding. And 25 was the highest?
Yes.
Okay. You walk over, and you go over to it, and it says, crossbow of Samuel Lotus. And everybody's just drinking, having a good time.
Is there any sign of gold around the crossbow?
No. No, actually.
So it's just a crossbow with an inscription of Samuel Lotus.
And it is like mounted on there. You don't even know if it functions.
In my head, I've made the connection of crossbow, gold crossbow bolt, noble. I'm going to turn to Xavier Lotus and just... What's the story with that crossbow?
Goes ahead, and he's currently laughing with the rest of the group. Ah, yes, that was the crossbow of my great-grandfather. He fought in a great many wars, and he was a hero in his own regard. He unfortunately died in combat. He never made it to see his own son born, which was my grandfather. And this was the only thing given to my great-grandmother when she was told that he passed, and it has been mounted up here for the last 100 so years. And it is just a reminder of the sacrifice that my great-grandfather made to this family to keep us in the position that we're in. He fought nobly and unfortunately met a fate that maybe he did not deserve.
I'm sure such a fine crossbow would have fine arrows. Is there any bolts or such to go with it?
If there are, they're buried somewhere along with him. This is all that my great-grandmother was given.
Would I have picked up anything from this conversation or what Sakado's doing, or am I still kind of just...
We have said that you're a bit tipsy, but you're not full-on drunk. We'll say that you can make a perception check with disadvantage as you were currently in the conversation with somebody. Okay. And on top of the fact that you're...
Oh, disadvantage. That's a 9.
No, you're currently talking with Willow Jin about something.
Okay.
Well, that's fine, because I was about to do Psychic Whispers with Volstagg anyway.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, so that's 5 hours to do. Hey, Volstagg.
Yeah. Then I'm just like looking around and I catch eyes with Sakado and I'm just like, the hell?
Do you still have that crossbow bolt on you?
Of course.
Something in his caught my attention. A crossbow. One
No,
mounted
okay.
on the wall.
Alright, I'll look towards that wall.
Okay.
Do I see it?
You see the crossbow he's speaking of. It's currently mounted on the wall with 1,000 other different weapons.
Okay.
The bolt is plated in gold, right?
Yeah.
Would be befitting of a baron of such wealth.
Most likely, yeah.
You getting up what I'm putting down here?
Am I picking up what he's putting down here?
Make another insight check with disadvantage, I guess? I don't really know how to play this one out.
I've tried to play like a tipsy character and it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
I'll let the dice. That's gonna be a 5.
You're not picking up what he's putting down at all.
I'm just like, I see the crossbow, Sakado. That would be a very nice crossbow to have.
Do you think they're part of the same pet?
Oh. Well, I don't know. And I'll just like kind of pull out the crossbow dart in the party.
Okay.
I mean, there's a better way to do it, but sure.
You're just
Just kinda looking
just
at it.
holding at it. And
Yeah, just kind of looking at it.
so at this point, I would say because Sakato was talking to Lotus, and
Right. I'm talking to Willigen.
You're talking to
right?
Willigen. Willigen's like, what's that?
Well, Sakato thinks it might belong to the cross, and that's kind of when I realized what he's getting at. I'm like, and I'll just kind of walk over to the crossbow on the wall. Do I notice any similarities or?
With your passive perception, no.
Okay.
It really just looks like a standard crossbow. Like an older crossbow for sure, but no, nothing that immediately like reaches out to you.
Okay. I'm gonna call for Lotus.
He's go ahead. He's currently drinking, laughing with probably Scald at this point. Yes. What seems to be the matter?
I have a crossbow bolt here. Your crossbow piqued my interest. And reminded me that I've been looking because this seems like a custom bolt. Would you happen to have any idea? Elvish inscription on it, and I'll hand the bolt to him.
The bolt.
Was it Elvish inscription on the bolt?
I don't think. I think you're thinking of clarity.
Yeah,
Clarity.
I couldn't remember if we decided or ever figured
I
out
don't
what kind of
think it-
inscription was on the bolt.
I think it
now that
was-
think about it.
Like an arcane inscription. Because
Yeah,
if
it was just an
Elvish, I would have
arcane- that's
instantly
right.
read it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just arcane
it's just an
inscriptions. He goes ahead and he's holding it in his hands. No, unfortunately, I've just kind of turning it around. I've never seen something like this. It's quite elegant. No, none of the crossbow bolts from my grandfather ever made it into here. So if this belongs to this, I would have no idea.
I didn't know if you'd ever seen a bolt of such glamour or in your travels.
Seems a bit unrealistic. I mean, gold as a weapon? I mean, seems a bit unconventional, if you ask me.
I think so, but with the arcane inscription, I didn't know if perhaps gold might have been a component.
That would be for Ossian to decide. I'm not a main manufacturer of...
We've showed it to
Arcane.
Ossian, haven't we?
I don't think we have.
I don't think you have.
I thought we did.
I think you wanted to, but never got down to it.
I think we were going to, and then we got sidetracked. No, wait, no, because this is after we came back from the Afterdark, so I don't think we did. We showed him everything we got
thought
in
we-
the Afterdark.
The dark.
Uh,
Man, maybe
I
we
don't think you did.
didn't it?
We can always show him again.
Ossian might be the best. I don't really know.
Alright, well, I'll show it to Ossian.
Okay. What's everybody's passive insight again?
10.
14.
17.
Okay. You go ahead and you pass it to Ossian, who at this point is paying very close attention to everything. You go ahead, show it to him. He's holding it. It was definitely enchanted at one point. Currently not. I'm assuming it was probably enchanted to one-time use, presumably because you don't really pick back up crossbow bolts, as usually you lob them or shoot them very far away. Gold's not typically a component in enchanting. It seems to be a personal design rather than a necessity, if that makes sense. Definitely looks to be enchanted in a way just via the runes to enhance damage. But I've never seen anything like this. I mean, I've seen enchanted crossbow bolts, but not like this.
Well, thank you. I'll just put the crossbow bolt away and head back over to the bar.
All right. Eventually, a dinner is had. Your meat pies do eventually arrive with a different assortment of potatoes and vegetables. Scald, while you were standing around listening to all of these conversations, you noticed that when confronted by Volstagg, Lotus was shifting a little bit. In
About the
place.
bolt?
Just in general.
Oh. Like, just looked uneasy?
Uncomfortable. especially when also talking about his grandfather or his great grandfather.
Okay.
There was a sense of unease there, like he did not wish to talk about it for some reason.
Okay.
And then that carried over. It started with the grandfather conversation and then bled into when the bolt was handed to him.
Right.
So
Okay.
with that, because that was just with your passive, you guys continue to eat dinner, laughing it up, and eventually you guys will finish up your desserts as well. And the Baron wipes his mouth with a napkin and he says, "Well, that was an excellent meal. Thank you all for the company. It has been splendid. It's been quite some time since I've had a meal quite like this, and company as well. I do thank you. When I have information on Losai, I may request a return, so we may discuss the situation in Kalsang. For now, I feel like that's not something we need to talk about just yet, as that can be figured out at a later date. But for now, unless there's anything else you wish to talk about, I believe it's best to start heading off to our separate beds for the night."
Indeed.
So, you didn't want anything with us tonight other than dinner?
I wanted to understand why my friend likes you so much. And I think now I understand. You are all genuine, you're all friendly, and while you have made a few mistakes in your life, he looks at Sakado, that doesn't necessarily mean that it has to control you. It doesn't mean that just because somebody makes a mistake, it doesn't mean that they're a bad person. So, genuinely, just wanted to meet you. Especially considering I had been thrust into breaking you out of prison. Felt only right to actually introduce myself and get to know you as people rather than just images in my head of who I think you may be. So, anything else?
None that I can think of.
All right, well, thank you.
Knock knock, who's there?
Sorry. I couldn't even put this back in my ear. Well, thank you so much for a wonderful meal and a wonderful evening. I will be in contact as well. And if there's anything you ever need from me, let Ossian know. He can contact me and we can converse once more. So thank you very much. It is a pleasure to meet all of you. Some for the first time, looks at you, Scald, and just bows. Well,
Bow back.
I will be on my way. You may show yourselves out. And goes ahead and he walks up another set of stairs and closes the door behind him. You can see Ossian kind of nods to you guys. Well, I'll see you around.
Yeah.
Goes ahead and makes his leave. As the three of you begin to make your leave, you walk out into the Snowcaster night air. And you begin to walk forward if there's anything you wish to do or discuss as you begin to walk back to wherever it is you're going to bed down for the night.
Not yet.
Okay. You go ahead, all respectively, into your own beds in the Shadowstar Inn, or Shadowstar Adventuring Guild, in your separate cots. Where you bed down tonight, bellies full of alcohol and food, and eventually sleep meets you all. And that's where we're going to end this episode. It's a little bit of a shorter one. Wanted to get through that, though. Feels like we're in a nice place. And we'll see what happens next. So thank you guys for being here, as always. It's always great to have you back. First episode with everybody officially back. It's great. And so we'll see what happens next week. I didn't actually say it, but this episode marks the 1-year anniversary of uploading on the Double Advantage channel. So
damn.
we've done it.
Wow.
We've made it this far, and so we'll see what we do next. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for watching. We love you guys very much. We hope you're staying safe. Enjoy your squirt sticks, and we will see you guys
Giggity.
next time. Peace.